Close your eyes if you haven't already. Let your body sink down into stillness, into the deep rest that waits like a sheltered valley in endless plains. Breathe with me, in through your nose, slowly, like drawing in steppe air, clean and endless, carrying the scent of grass and distance. Hold for just a moment, and out through your mouth, long and slow, like wind across 10,000 miles of grassland, touching nothing, changing nothing, just moving. Again, in the breath of open spaces, of horizons that never end. Hold, suspended like a hawk above grass that extends forever. And out, releasing into the vastness of sky above grass, grass below sky, nothing between. One more time. In, drawing from the steppes that have no walls, no boundaries, no limits. Hold, the stillness of a world made only of grass and wind. And out, surrendering to the rhythm of seasons crossing the steppe, of grass growing and dying and growing again, eternal. Good. Let your breathing return to its natural rhythm now. Like wind, always moving across the steppe, never stopping, never blocked, just flowing across distances too large to comprehend. Tonight we ride on the Eurasian steppe, the largest grassland. We feel its immensity, its openness, its terrible freedom. And then we meet the Mongols, who built the largest land empire in history from this emptiness, who navigated grass oceans without landmarks, who lived completely exposed to a sky that extends from horizon to horizon with nothing in between. You don't need to stay awake. Just listen until sleep finds you. Until you drift like a cloud shadow across grass that extends forever. Let's begin. Part 1, the Immensity. The largest grassland on Earth. Imagine you are standing on grass. Short grass. The Eurasian steppe. You turn in a circle. North, grass. East, grass. South, grass. West, grass. Not sand like the Sahara. Not ice like the Arctic. Grass. Endless grass. Short grass stretching to a horizon so distant and so flat that the curve of the earth becomes visible because there is absolutely nothing to block your view. This is the Eurasian steppe, also called the Great Steppe, a continuous grassland stretching from Hungary in the west to Manchuria in the east, from the Black Sea to Mongolia, 5,000 miles across, a fifth of the Earth's land surface, the largest grassland ecosystem on the planet. If you placed the steppe on a map of North America, it would stretch from the Atlantic Ocean past the Rocky Mountains to the Pacific. That's how vast. That's how much grass. The steppe is so flat that you can see further here than almost anywhere else on land. On a clear day, standing on level ground, you can see objects 20, 30, even 40 miles away. And if you can see that far and still see only grass and sky meeting at a perfect circle around you, you understand the scale of the emptiness. The horizon on the steppe is perfect. A circle. You are always at the exact center of a perfect circle where grass meets sky. No matter how far you Walk, no matter which direction, you remain at the center of this circle. The horizon moves with you, stays the same distance, maintains its perfect curve. You can walk for days and the view never changes. Grass, sky, circle, forever. The steppe has almost no trees. None in most areas. A tree on the steppe is visible for miles because it is the only vertical thing in a horizontal world. No forests to hide in. No hills to shelter behind. No valleys to camp in. Just flatness extending so far that flat becomes a kind of infinity. During the day, the sky is enormous. Bigger than any sky you've seen in mountains or cities or forests. The sky on the steppe is half the world. You stand on grass and above you is hemisphere of blue so vast it creates vertigo if you stare too long. Sky from horizon to horizon with nothing interrupting it. No mountains. No buildings. No trees. Just blue dome. Stretching forever. And the weather is extreme. In summer, temperatures reach 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun bakes the grass, turns it golden brown, creates heat shimmer that makes distant objects waver and dance. There is no shade. Nowhere to hide from sun that beats down from overhead with nothing to stop it. In winter, temperatures drop to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds blow across thousands of miles of flat land with nothing to slow them. Wind chill makes it feel like -70 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. Blizzards can appear in minutes, whiteness replacing grass. Visibility dropping to zero. You can freeze to death standing in the open because there is nowhere to shelter. The wind is constant. Wind is the characteristic sound of the steppe. Not rustling like wind through trees. Not howling like wind through canyons. Just steady movement of air across grass, a continuous susurration that never stops, day or night, summer or winter. The wind has blown across these grasslands for millions of years. It will blow for millions more. And the silence beneath the wind. The steppe is one of the quietest places on earth for human sounds. No traffic. No cities. No machines. In some areas, you can stand in the middle of the steppe and the only sounds are wind and grass and your own breathing and heartbeat. The silence is so complete it becomes oppressive. Your ears search for sound and find almost nothing. Imagine you are still standing on this grass. Small. Infinitely small. The grass extends in all directions further than you could walk in weeks. The sky above is larger than seems possible. The horizon is a perfect circle, equidistant from you in every direction. You are at the center of emptiness that has no edges. How does it feel? This openness? This exposure? For most of settled humanity, the steppe was terrifying. No walls. No hiding places. No shelter. You are completely exposed to weather, to animals, to enemies, to the universe itself. There is nowhere to hide on the steppe. Nowhere to defend. Nowhere to retreat to. Just openness. Vulnerability. Exposure. Agricultural civilizations built walls against the steppe peoples. The Great Wall of China, Hadrian's Wall, the walls of Kiev and Moscow. Because people from the steppe could appear from nowhere, attack, disappear back into grass. Ocean where settled peoples couldn't follow. The emptiness was their advantage. Their home. Their ocean to navigate while others drowned in it. Because the steppe is overwhelming. To live on the steppe requires accepting that you are always visible, always exposed, always at the mercy of weather and distance and the complete absence of barriers between you and infinity. This is the immensity. This is what the steppe is. The largest grassland. The flattest landscape. The most open space. Indifferent to humanity. Offering nothing but grass and wind and sky and distance. And now imagine, you don't just cross it once nervously. You are born here. You grow up on horseback. You learn to read grass and wind and sky like others read books. You navigate by stars and landmarks visible only to trained eyes. You build an empire from this emptiness. The largest contiguous land empire in human history. From grass and horses and knowledge of endless space. This is what the Mongols did. This is how they responded to immensity. Not by building walls but by embracing mobility. Not by farming but by moving with the seasons. Not by fearing the openness but by using it as their greatest advantage. They became masters of emptiness. Let this vastness stay with you as you drift deeper into sleep. The endless grass. The infinite sky. The terrible beauty of openness with no hiding places. You are small. The steppe is vast. But smallness on horseback can cross vastness. Can use emptiness as strength. Rest now on the steppe. Under stars that guided Mongol armies across continents. In grass that has grown and died and grown again for millions of years. The wind blows but you are sheltered. The space is infinite but you know your place in it. Sleep comes like twilight on the steppe, gentle and gradual and complete. Part 2, the Mongol response. Masters of the grass ocean. The Mongols looked at the Eurasian steppe and saw something different than settled people saw. Where farmers saw useless land, Mongols saw perfect pasture. Where city dwellers saw dangerous emptiness, Mongols saw home. Where others saw the edge of civilization, Mongols saw the center of their world. For thousands of years, Mongol and other nomadic peoples lived on the steppe. Not just survived, thrived. Built cultures, created art, developed technologies perfectly suited to life on grasslands. And in the 13th century, under Genghis Khan, they built the largest contiguous land empire in history. From this emptiness, from grass and horses and knowledge of how to use space itself as a weapon, they lived in jairs, called yurts by Russians, but gur is the Mongol word. Round tents made of felt over collapsible wooden frames. The gur is perfectly designed for steppe life. It can be assembled or disassembled in an hour. It provides insulation against summer heat and winter cold. The round shape withstands constant wind. The central smoke hole allows cooking. Fire inside. The gur is mobile architecture. When grass in one area is eaten by your herds, you pack up your gur, load it on a cart, move to fresh pasture. The entire Mongol way of life was based on mobility. Never staying in one place. Always moving with seasons, with grass growth, with animal needs. They were horsemen from childhood. Mongol children learned to ride before they learned to walk, some say. This is exaggeration, but not much. By age 3 or 4, children rode. By age 10, they could ride all day, control a horse with knees alone, shoot arrows from horseback. The horse wasn't transportation. The horse was an extension of self. Mongol horses were small, sturdy, able to survive on grass alone without grain. They could graze while their riders slept. Could travel 50, 60 miles a day. A Mongol warrior might have 5 or 6 horses, switching between them to maintain pace. They could cover 100 miles in a day if needed, faster than any army in history. On horseback, the vastness of the steppe became an advantage. Settled armies moved slowly, needed supply lines, couldn't operate far from bases. Mongol armies moved fast, lived off the land, and their herds could appear from nowhere and disappear into grass ocean where pursuit was impossible. They navigated by the landscape itself. The steppe seems featureless, but it's not. Not to trained eyes. Every region has markers. This area has grass with red tips in autumn. That area has soil with specific texture. This place has a depression in the ground, barely visible, but it's there. That spot has particular wildflowers in spring. Mongols memorized these features across thousands of miles. They could navigate by grass types, soil colors, subtle changes in elevation that most people wouldn't notice. The empty steppe was full of information if you knew how to read it. And they navigated by stars, like sailors on the grass ocean. The pole star, always north. Other constellations rising and setting at specific points. On the flat steppe with clear skies, celestial navigation was easy if you knew the sky. And Mongols knew it completely. They read the weather with precision. On the steppe, weather can kill. Blizzards in winter appear suddenly. Thunderstorms in summer bring lightning that strikes the highest point, and on flat grassland, you are often the highest point. Reading weather wasn't casual interest. It was survival. Mongols observed cloud formations, wind direction, animal behavior, the color of the sky at dawn. They knew that certain signs meant storm coming in hours. Other signs meant days of good weather. This knowledge was passed down, tested daily, refined over generations. They organized their society around mobility. Mongol society had no cities, no permanent structures, no written laws. Initially, everything was oral tradition and customary law. Leadership was based on merit and ability to provide for followers, not birthright alone. The entire culture was designed to be portable, flexible, able to move. When Genghis Khan united the Mongol tribes in 1206, he didn't build a capital city first. He created a mobile command structure. His capital was wherever he and his commanders were. His empire's strength was its mobility. It could be everywhere and nowhere. Could strike from unexpected directions. Could retreat into grasslands where settled armies couldn't follow. The Mongol military advantage came from understanding space. Mongol armies used distance as a weapon. They would retreat for days, drawing enemies into the steppe, far from supply lines, into terrain where Mongols had every advantage and enemies had none. Then they would turn and attack. With cavalry moving so fast that infantry couldn't respond. They used the emptiness. There were no forests to hide defending armies. No mountains to fortify. Just grass. And on grass, cavalry is supreme. Mongol mounted archers could shoot accurately while riding at full gallop. Could circle enemies, firing from all sides. Could retreat, return, harass, never engaging directly until the enemy was exhausted. Settled armies fought battles. Mongols fought campaigns using the entire steppe as their battlefield. They thought in terms of hundreds of miles. Weeks of movement, using space and time in ways sedentary civilizations couldn't imagine. Most importantly, they thrived in openness. The steppe offers no hiding places. No shelter. No barriers. For sedentary peoples, this was terrifying. For Mongols, this was normal. They didn't need walls. They had mobility. They didn't need forests. They had grass for their animals. They didn't need hiding places. They had the ability to see enemies from miles away across flat grassland. The openness that made others feel vulnerable made Mongols feel free. They could see the sky completely. Could travel in any direction. Could move with the seasons. Were not trapped by walls or borders or fixed positions. This is the Mongol response to immensity. Complete acceptance of openness, combined with perfect adaptation to mobility. The steppe is vast and empty. This is a fact. But vastness favors those who can move fast. Emptiness favors those who can navigate it. Openness favors those who don't need hiding places. The Mongols became large enough in reach to control the largest land empire. They became fast enough to cross emptiness before enemies could react. They became wise enough to use space itself as their weapon and their home. This is what humans can do. When the environment seems to offer nothing. When emptiness seems like weakness. We can reframe it. Emptiness becomes freedom of movement. Vastness becomes operational space. Openness becomes visibility in all directions. The Mongols proved this. On the steppe, they proved that emptiness can be advantageous. That vastness can be controlled through mobility. That humans can build empire from grass and horses and understanding of how to use space. Let this knowledge stay with you as you drift into deepest sleep. You are small. The world is vast and often seems empty. But smallness that moves survives. Mobility is strength. Space is not absence but presence of possibility. The Mongols did it. On the steppe. You do it in your own empty spaces. We All navigate vastness by moving, by adapting, by refusing to be trapped by the apparent emptiness around us. Rest now under steppe stars. The same sky that stretched above Mongol jairs. The same grass that fed their horses. The same wind that carries the memory of the largest land empire ever created from the grass ocean. Sleep comes like dusk on the steppe, gradual and peaceful, filling the grass ocean with gentle darkness. And so our ride across the steppe ends. 25 minutes on the largest grassland on earth. Feeling its immensity, its openness, its terrible freedom, its hidden abundance visible only to those who know how to move across it. We felt what it means to stand on grass that extends further than we could walk in weeks. Flatter than seems possible. More open than our minds design. For forests and caves can easily process. The steppe is 5,000 miles across. These numbers mean nothing. We can only feel the truth, we are small. And the grass ocean is vast. But we also met the Mongols, who looked at this same vastness and responded with mobility, who made the emptiness their advantage, who built the largest contiguous land empire in history from grass and horses and knowledge of how to navigate and use space. They learned to live in jairs that moved with the seasons, to ride horses from childhood, to navigate by stars and grass and subtle features invisible to others, to read weather that could kill, to use the vastness as a weapon that made them stronger than settled civilizations with their walls and cities. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you rest in shelter the Mongols would recognize as permanent luxury. But you rest on the same planet, under the same laws of space and distance. The difference is we chose walls. They chose mobility. Both strategies work. Both are adaptations to human smallness in vast world. You are small. The world is vast and often empty. These facts remain. But the Mongols taught us that emptiness can be freedom. That vastness can be controlled through movement. That humans can thrive in openness if we embrace mobility, if we learn to navigate, if we use space instead of fighting it. Sleep now on the steppe, under stars that guided armies, in grass that grew, and fed horses that carried empire across continents. The wind blows but you are still. The grass extends forever but you are here, now, at rest. And you are small but you can move. You are temporary but you navigate. You cross your own grass oceans with whatever knowledge you carry. This is enough. This has always been enough. Good night from the steppe. From the Mongols who rode it. From the horses that carried them. From the jairs that sheltered them. From the grass ocean that became their empire. Sleep well, rider. The grass remembers. The wind carries stories. The journey is complete. Rest is here. All is vast. All is crossable. All is exactly as it should be. Good night.